Hello and welcome. Today I have with me Nico Granady I, the top 8 player in the world as of now. Hi, how are you?
I am doing really good today. Has been a nice day so far for me. So I hope yours was good as well so far. And yeah.
I'm doing great. You have said that you didn't expect to get top 8. What was your expectations for yourself at this event then?
Like to be honest, I didn't really have any expectations going into the event because first of all, it was my very first LAN event. It was also my first World Cup actually. And I had like no idea how it feels like to play on stage or play in front of other people. And also, I had no idea if my wheel setup is gonna work nicely on the LAN event. So, in order to not really disappoint myself, I just went into it with like zero expectations at all. And yeah, but I still knew that I would definitely be good enough that I can at least get like maybe top 12 or so. But I didn't really expect to get top 8. That's true.
So how did your perception of what is possible change throughout the tournament?
Well, like the first few rounds still were a little bit, yeah, Pepega for me. Like, for example, in the first match, I think I got third place. I also had a hard one against Mime and Carl, but still, it was a really tough match overall. And I, first of all, needed some time to get used to the setup. But then in the second match, for example, I think it was the second one, I did win against also some really strong drivers. I mean, everybody there is strong, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And that's like where I noticed that if I really play good and I drive like I did in practice and I just put down my runs, I definitely have a really good chance at advancing to the playoffs. And so basically after the second match, I noticed yes, if I play good, I can definitely make it.
And when you actually made it, did you see yourself as an underdog in the semifinals?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the top 8 players that survived there were only insane players left, like Pac, Mime, Carl, all of those sick players, which you really know they will do good. And then there was like me, who like I didn't expect to get myself into the top 8 at all, and probably most of the other people, like viewers and also other players, probably also didn't really expect it. And then in the top 8, I was of course even more of an underdog then, so I knew I'm gonna have a really hard time there, even if I play like my best match ever. So definitely, I definitely saw myself as an underdog.
In the semifinals, we could notice that two players have changed their lines on some maps. Mime was one of them, and he has changed his line on the forest climbing identity. And the other player was you. Were you? You have adjusted your line on Newschool to the Mada variation. Well, he was the only one we could see really doing that. So why did you did that? Why did you did that? Why did you change it?
Well, I mean, actually, I did already do the new skill line as well. Not exactly like Mada did it. Like Mada went really high up and then like super steep down for like most exit speed possible. And I kind of did like the same, but not as high basically. So I didn't really change that one actually. But actually, a fun thing that I can tell about Mime because he really did change the forest line for the last day. And like before that day, like before Sunday, like Sunday afternoon, we were of course warming up on stage,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And the 2 days before, Massa and me, we already did learn the new forest climbing line, like for day 2, because
Mm-hmm.
we just tried it out. And after like 10 minutes of playing, we saw like, oh yeah, it's faster and also easier. But Mime, like we also tried to convince him going for it, but he was like, yeah, no, I'm good enough on the map anyway. So, or like that he's also fast enough without changing his line now, so he didn't do it. But then in the warm up for Sunday, he did actually try it out for like 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, he was like, "Yo, that line is free." And then Mime actually also just changed it, and he became even better than he already was on the map. So that was kind of funny actually.
Yeah, to be honest, if you maybe change that, who knows? Maybe the new school wouldn't be a problem in the end, in the
Yeah,
final rounds.
maybe, but it's
Who
always
knows?
easier to say afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, one of the funniest things I saw at this tournament was one of the first videos or photos from the venue that have surfaced on the Twitter. On this video or photo, whatever that was, we could see you sitting right next to Massa. I think practicing on your wheel, and this was funny to me because I remember that you had that dream, like couple months ago,
Yeah,
in which
actually.
you have sat next to Massa on World Cup stage and annoyed
Yeah.
him with your wheel movement. So how was that in reality?
First of all, I have to retweet that later. That's actually really funny to think about it now. But I mean, so I already messaged Softy before the event to ask like if the desk is gonna fit, and I also explained to him that sit on the same desk with another player and everything is shaking, it will be annoying for them. And really, like the last thing I wanted to do is like to disturb any other players, because I would really be like kind of pissed at myself if I would do that.
Hmm.
So I already made sure with Softy that it's gonna be fine, and it also was pretty fine because all of the 16 players, we all had our own desk actually. So like if my desk was shaking, it didn't really matter to the others. But one thing that Massa actually told me was like Massa was sitting to the right of me, and like so when he, even if he looked straight at his monitor and like his very at the very left of his eye, basically he still was like able to see me moving. And according to Massa, when I play with wheel, I have like a big input delay for some reason. I never noticed that, but he also tried out playing and he said like, "Oh my god, it's like really weird." So like I always steer a bit before the turn already comes. So for Massa, it was sometimes weird when we played in the exact same match and we drove the exact same round at the same time, of course. I already steered before he was because of my input delay. And Massa said he sometimes got confused because I was already full Monka steering and he wasn't even at the turn yet, kinda.
Hmm.
So that was a little bit annoying for him, maybe. But I mean, in the matches which I played against Massa, he still beat me, and I think he got like second and first, I think. So wasn't too big of an issue, I guess.
But we have to talk actually about the wheel itself. The first question is about the traveling with the wheel. You have posted on your Twitter a picture when it didn't, where the wheel didn't fit into a suitcase. But I don't know if that was just a stunt for laughs or maybe it was real. So tell us, how was it to how was it to travel with the wheel? Was it a pain or not really?
No, first of all, it was actually like a real picture. Like I actually had
Mm-hmm.
that issue because usually, I mean, we were there for 4 days, I think. And when I go on a 4 travel trip, I barely need anything, so I could go with a backpack basically because I don't need a lot of stuff. So I only wanted to bring like a super small suitcase, and I tried to fit the wheel in there, and it wasn't even close fitting in. So only because of the wheel, I had to bring like the biggest suitcase that my family had, just to make sure that the wheel fit in there, and the rest was like kind of empty. It feels like. So that was a little bit painful because otherwise I just would have brought like a small suitcase or even only my backpack. But yeah, that was a little bit of an issue, but yeah, it still was kind of fine. Another issue I had is bringing the wheel to the stadium actually, because I of course couldn't bring my big suitcase to the stadium. That would
Mm-hmm.
be not possible. So instead, I had to like somehow squeeze it into my backpack together with my pedals, and that was not very nice to travel. But overall, it still was fine.
And the other question is, I think the most important is if you really had to play without your shoes on the stage.
Yeah, I did have to play without shoes on my stage, or in general without shoes all of the time, because I play with pedals, I accelerate with them, and when I wear shoes, it's like super difficult to judge if I like how much I push the pedal through and if I actually push it at all, because I just don't really feel that. So my strat basically was just like, for example, on Sunday when we had the semifinal, we walked in on the side and walked on stage, and there I was still wearing my shoes, and as soon as I sat down, I just took them off and easy peasy.
Hmm. You said in your tweet after the semifinals have ended that you didn't have an optimal setup. What did you mean by that?
Um, yeah, so first of all, I have to divide there between the group stage and the playoffs, because in the group stage we all had our own desk and nobody cared about what we were doing there. Like we could move the monitor, the PC, however we wanted to. Like there was absolutely no issue. And usually, as you can also see it in the camera, actually, like my monitor is like really close to my cam. It's to my wheel. It's like maybe that big of a difference. But on stage, we had like the monitors, and on top of the monitors, we had the cameras which were filming us. And because of the cameras, the monitor had to be like really, really far away. So instead of like this distance, it was like 30 centimeter more. So instead of this, it was like so far away or so. It was
Hmm.
really, really weird for me to get used to. And I even asked Softy if I can't move it like closer, but he said like, nah, not possible. So that was really, really tough to get used to. Also because the monitor was smaller than the one I have here at home. So it was like smaller and further away. So I had a really hard time getting used to that, and maybe that also influenced my performance of the semifinals a little bit. But yeah, besides that, I gotta admit, the setup overall was really, really great. Like we had good PCs, and also with the wheel, it was. Besides that, it was absolutely no issue. So overall, still happy with that.
And to close it out, the next season of TMGL will start in September. I'd say you had a pretty impressive rookie season. So, what is your plan for the next one? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to improve on?
That's always a bit difficult because it always depends on the format for me. Because like I don't think that's gonna happen. But in case we go back to six slappers, for example, I have like way better chances again than if it's only about winning rounds against others, for example. But I assume like I really don't know anything, so yeah. But I think
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna stick with this format, kinda. Maybe they will adjust a few things, but who knows? And if it stays like that, my main goal, first of all, is to stay in the season again, or like to avoid playing the head-to-head, which would mean like getting top 12. Because yeah, I just want to stay in, of course. And maybe if we have like really good maps, maybe a better shooting format for me, it might be top 8 again as a goal.
Thank you for the interview. Do you have any short message for your fans and the viewers?
Short message for the viewers. Yeah, of course. Like the World Cup took place, and the support from my viewers and also from my fans was absolutely insane. Like there were even a few people live in Paris which supported me. Actually, funny thing, I was sitting like at the front left, and they were sitting like only 2 meters far from me. And every time they screamed for me, I always heard anything. So I always heard that. So that was already absolutely amazing. And then, of course, also on Twitter, on Discord, I got so much support from my viewers, from my fans, and that was really, really cool. Like every time, every day I came back to the hotel after each match day, I read like through the stuff, and it was just really, really wholesome. So yeah, thanks to everybody who supported me there. It really helped me out a lot, and yeah, that was just amazing.
And to all the viewers, all the links to Grenady's socials will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe for more interviews in the future. Thank you very much.